Good morning, everybody. I'm going to pop in here for day 2 and share a few tips with you with groceries. I will probably hit the grocery store tomorrow unless I can get there today. Typically Wednesday is my grocery day, but I want to share a few things with you to help you get started. If today is the day you need to go, and just share some things that I do to help me. So the number one thing that I have started doing to help save money with our groceries is I only go one day a week. I have to make sure I have it all planned and I have what we need, because if we run out, we don't go back. We don't go back to the next week. If we run out of milk, we just don't have milk. If we run out of butter, we don't have butter. So it's important that we have a plan. What I found when I go to the grocery store once a week is, and I don't allow myself to go back, I start to become very creative with the food I have. We don't have waste, and we spend less money. Because those extra trips to the grocery store, a lot of times you're like, I just need to go get milk, and then you pick up a bag of apples and some bananas, and then you see something's on sale, and it's automatically $40 you're spending when you thought you were just going to get some more milk. So that's number one. Number two, I always shop with my list. If something's not on my list, even if it's on sale, I don't get it unless it's something that I feel like, oh, you know what, I could buy these for school or something and put them away when I get home. But really, I have a budget, and even if it's on sale, I try to just stick to my list. A couple things that help me, I don't compromise on. My baby just woke up, so I gotta run. There are certain things I spend more money on. Just because we're trying to save money on groceries doesn't mean that we should be eating not healthy things, So some of the foods I buy are more expensive. I do shop the perimeter of the store with the produce and the dairy and meats more than the middle. I really only go down 2 middle aisles. One is to get beans and rice, and one is the organic aisle where they have a freezer section where I buy bread. And the dairy products and things. So a few things that I do buy organic. I buy organic milk. I buy organic yogurt if I don't make it. And that's something I'll be sharing a different day, because yogurt's really easy to make and you can save a lot of money if you eat a lot of yogurt. I make sure that when we buy meat that it is grass-fed beef. And I prefer to actually get it from a farm. There's a farm around here that I can get beef from, but if I get it from the store, I know what store I can get it from at the best price. Eggs I buy from a farm, which are more expensive, but they're free range, they're organically fed, non-GMO chickens. I do spend more money on chicken. And those are things, like I said, I don't necessarily buy those at the store. I have a farm here that I get 5 dozen eggs from, a box of vegetables, and I can get 1 chicken from a week. And I'll be sharing with you tips on how you can stretch that budget if you decide to buy organic chicken. Oh, okay, thank you. So those are a couple things I don't compromise on. And so how do I fit that into my budget? Well, I don't buy a lot of convenience foods. We don't buy a ton of chips and granola bars and the packaged stuff that's more expensive. We don't buy extra we chop off of a list, but I don't compromise on those things. I feel like the way an animal is fed is important to me. I don't want to have soy in our products. I don't want to have beef from cows that were not properly raised. If you ever see the documentary Food Matters, it's a little gross, but if you ever watch it, it'll open your eyes to like a whole new experience regarding food. And it taught me a lot. Okay, so those are a couple of things that I don't compromise on. Another thing I wanted to share with you, when you are grocery shopping, a lot of times if you have a big family, we get Costco memberships or Sam's Club memberships, which is super exciting. But I honestly could not go into Costco and not spend like $400. So a couple tips if you choose to do that, because we are reining in our grocery budget right now. Once school starts, I usually will do 1 Costco trip a month. And then on that trip, I have taken all 6 of my kids to Costco. It's like an adventure. They love the samples. But ideally, I would go with just the baby. I would have a list of what we are going to have. I don't just buy a bunch of things. So a couple of things I love at Costco, they have these little Holy Guacamole individual packets because we love guacamole, and they freeze really well. Or if I were to buy like frozen fruit and vegetables, because we have a deep freezer, and that would last me for the month, so I would kind of check that off. I do that in the winter, especially when my CSA is not running. Other things, I like their gluten-free frozen pizzas. They're a lot less expensive than ordering out. So those are things like, I would pick a few things up. Sometimes they have Ezekiel bread at a good price, so I would buy that for the month. But literally what I do when I go to Costco is I buy what I'm going to have off of this list, and then we have a deep freezer where we portion it out. So I only have, say I buy like 8 loaves of bread, I'd only have 2 upstairs, and once they're gone, they're gone. And they're not, my kids know they're not allowed to touch the stuff in the pantry down in the basement until the next week. Or if I buy like a huge box of granola bars and I take out 7 for this week, they know when those are gone, they can't have them until the next week. We did have one time where my youngest boys got into the pantry, they ate all of the snacks, and they learned because they didn't have any for the rest of the month. So that is something that can help you if you decide to do bulk. But I found that you have to plan. Now, some of my favorite places to shop, I love Aldi. They have an Aldi up here. It's one of my favorite places. It's the first place that I go with my list. So I go to Aldi first. Then I go to Trader Joe's second. Things that they don't have at Aldi, I'll go to Trader Joe's to get. I love from Trader Joe's, they have grass-fed beef that's frozen at a good price. If I don't have a farm, if it's not available at the farm here. And they have some cleaner snack type items. When it comes to back to school, they just came out with their own Kind bar, which is kind of nice. And so after Aldi and Trader Joe's, I have literally 4 items that I get from Kroger. They have an almond coconut milk I really like that I get from there. They carry the Hormel Choice Meats. That's a natural selection. It's a very clean lunch meat that I'll buy there if Aldi doesn't have their version of it. I think that's pretty much all I get from Kroger. Yeah, I can't think of the other. I think there was one other thing I get from Kroger sometimes, but that's about it. So I hope this helps. Now, you guys might be thinking, I don't have an Aldi, Trader Joe's, or Kroger. Well, I know different areas have different discount shopping stores. My friends who live in Virginia have the Sharp Shopper, and it's a great place to go because it's like an Aldi. Yes, right, those are really good. Katie, the raises the Kind bars from Trader Joe's. If you live in the South, in Texas, they have the HEB, and I've heard great things about what they make available. What I'm going to tell you, and this is just being really honest, is that most mainstream stores, like I remember whenever I'm in Louisiana, this happens, and I go to the Rouse's, most mainstream stores or Whole Foods overprice their organic produce. So I posted it yesterday about the Clean 15 and the Dirty 30. You know, if we could eat all organic, we would. Some things we can't, but I know what things are the most important based on that list. And just like I said, my meats and poultry. Yes. So I align my budget. So I do spend a little more on groceries than we used to. But for me, it's longer. It's for our health. You know what I'm saying? So look for a discount shopper. Look on Amazon. Look at areas that you can order things from. You know what I mean? In bulk sometimes. Like I had a friend that lived out in the country. She had no access to like any really great groceries. So she ordered a lot of things off Amazon that she couldn't get at her store at a good price. So this takes a little planning, but what I want to encourage you, and you might be thinking, you go to 3 stores? Well, I do, but it's all in one day, and then it's done, and it's kind of an adventure. Something else, one more tip. When you go to a store like Aldi, what's easy to do is it's like, oh, look at all these snacks that are like super cheap. I mean, they have like veggie straws and sweet potato chips and organic corn chips and organic granola bars and lots of organic stuff. And it's really, really, really cheaply priced. I still have to make a list. Okay, we're getting 1 box of granola bars, 1 bag of chips. Just because it's cheaper, don't let yourself kind of go crazy. And then when we go home, I literally lay all the groceries out, which I'll do this tomorrow when I get home from the grocery and let you guys see. and I portion out what's for this week, and then everything else goes into storage. So like, you know, say I bought 2 bags of sweet potato chips, a bag of corn chips, a box of granola bars, and some little fruit bars. Then the fruit bars and granola bars and 1 bag of chips stays in the pantry, and everything else goes downstairs. And then once that bag is gone, I'll bring up more. That way the kids, because a lot of times what happens, we go grocery shopping, and like, I don't know if you do this, but I'm like sampling everything as I'm putting it away because it's so delicious and I'm excited to have more food in my house. But then like the food is gone like that. And so I will be sharing with you guys later today some of my favorite lunchbox recipes for school, because that's a big one, and how we plan our lunches. And then my challenge for you today, my task for you today, is make your grocery list if you have not already, and plan where you're going to go shop and what day you're going to do it. And I'd love for you to share it in the comments below, along with any questions you have. All right, guys, take care.